Yes, sir. Yo, what's going on, YouTube? Welcome to another video. In today's video, I am actually going to react to a article that I actually posted in one of my earlier videos. And a lot of you guys were very interested in it and had a lot to say. So I decided, you know what? I'm actually going to go ahead and read this article and actually react to it. It's actually the article. Let me just put my screen record on. We'll get to it right now. It is this article right here. It is the article where I said, well, where they said 58% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck after inflation spike, including 30% of those earning $250,000 or more. So now what we're going to do is we're actually going to read this article and I'm going to go over everything. And this is more of a personal finance video. I know they're not as popular as the crypto's going to the moon and stock market for dummies and all that stuff video. But you know what? I think this video is actually going to be very helpful because for those who don't know, I don't get into my own personal financial situation much, but I'm going to get into it a little bit right here. And the reason why is because I really want to help and teach you guys. And remember, this is coming from a guy that at one point was making less than $30,000 a year in salary just a few years ago. So like I said, trust me when I say it can be done. You can build wealth and live a good life if you, one, increase your income and two, live below your means. Those are the two key things that a lot of people leave out. So let's go ahead and actually get into this article. So here we go. It says right here, 58% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck after inflation spike, including 30% of those earning $250,000. Okay, so now let's scroll down and we're going to go over everything. So what the article is basically saying is that inflation is the reason for this, but I would actually argue that that is not the case. So it says right here, as of May, 58% of Americans, roughly 150 million adults, live paycheck to paycheck. Jesus, 100. Remember, it's only like 300 and like what, 20 million people. That's like the population of the United States. It's like 320 million or something like that. You know, I'm not exactly right, but I know it's something like that. It's definitely 300 million. And they're saying right here, 150 million people live paycheck to paycheck. Isn't that crazy, guys? That means that more than half of the entire country lives paycheck to paycheck. So if you're in a situation similar to me where you're not living paycheck to paycheck, congratulations, you are doing better than 58% of the entire country. Isn't that crazy, guys? So it says right here, with inflation, paychecks don't stretch as far. The consumer price index, a key inflation gauge, rose 8.6%, blah, 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 spurred by surging, blah, blah, blah. Let's keep reading. Those rising prices meant workers, hold on. When wages rise at a slower pace than inflation, paychecks don't stretch as far at the grocery store or the gas pump, making it more difficult to cover monthly expenses and set some money aside. Okay, I want to make this very clear. I am not bragging at all. I'm not saying I'm the richest man in the world because I'm not, but I haven't felt any of that. Now, has inflation sucked? Have I noticed that I've paid more prices at the gas pump, at the grocery store? Yes, me personally, yes, they're right. Your paycheck doesn't go as far when inflation and the price of goods are so high. This is true. However, because I live significantly below my means, I haven't really noticed it. And what I mean by that is, even though the price of gas has gone up, even though the price of food has gone up, I never think twice about what I buy at the grocery store. I never think twice about getting gas. It doesn't bother me. As a matter of fact, I'm actually going to share something that is a really true story with you guys. So for my pay cycle, I get paid twice a month. I'm sure most of you guys do. Most Americans who work get a bi-weekly paycheck. So you mostly usually get paid at like the 1st to the 30th of every month, like the end of the month, and then you get paid in the middle of the month, right? For me personally, and this is not because I'm so ridiculously rich and I'm a multimillionaire. It has nothing to do with that. That is not why. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is because I live significantly below my means, one paycheck out of the entire month pays for all of my bills, which means the second paycheck that I get doesn't have to go to any bills, which means I have an entire other paycheck that can go to anything. I can choose to invest it. If I want to be stupid, I can go to the mall and buy a bunch of clothes and a bunch of crap that I don't need. You know what I'm saying? I can do whatever I want. And again, it's not because I'm out here earning $300,000 a year in salary. It is because of this simple trick and secret that a lot of people don't know. I drive a very inexpensive car. I live in an average apartment. I'm not living in the fanciest apartment ever. That's actually going to change, but whatever. I live in a regular apartment. You know, my expenses are low. I live below my means. I'm not out here buying all the new Jordans that come out, you know, buying all these nice watches and crap that I can't afford. I significantly live below my means, and I make sure that the purchases I make are reasonable. So when I'm searching for an apartment, I make sure that it's something where I'm able to live significantly below my means. Same thing with a car, same thing with everything else. And I just feel like this article, I mean, they're right. Your paycheck does stretch thin. Sure. Like inflation is hurting Americans, but I think there's more to the story than that. I think a lot of people, unfortunately, just don't understand personal finance. And a lot of people don't even realize that they are living way too high above their means. Like you should be living below your means, but because everybody wants to have all the nice things right now, they want to have the nice car, they want to have the nice apartment, they want to have this, and that so they can flex it on social media. You have a situation like this where 58% of all Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. And I want to make it very clear. I'm not saying that everybody who's living paycheck to paycheck, it's your fault. You're just a piece of crap. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that. And I'm not saying that you're not financially literate just because you might be one of those people who are living paycheck to paycheck. Trust me, man, I was in your shoes before. I literally like 3-4 years ago, I was paycheck to paycheck. I was making less than $30,000 a year. I was living with my mom. It sucked. It was pretty crappy. But, you know, so I get it. A lot of people are getting destroyed out here, and I feel really bad for you. I truly do. And that's why this channel exists. We try to empower and motivate and kind of teach some good strategies on how you can build your life and do better financially, you know, and I think that this is going to be a helpful video. So just want to make it clear, not everybody who's living paycheck to paycheck is bad at finance and things like that. Some of you guys just a little unlucky. You know, you're just not making much money. You're doing the best you can. I want you to know that I see you and I hear you. You know, this isn't an attack on people who are living paycheck to paycheck. You guys get crapped on more than enough. And yeah, I feel for you, especially as somebody who's in that position. Trust me on that. Moving on to the rest of the article. All right, moving on, you can see right here, it says credit card balances contribute to financial vulnerability. Those struggling to afford their day-to-day lifestyle, that's the key part of this article that you guys need to pay attention to. What does it say? Those struggling, we're going to highlight that. Ooh-wee, that's all you need to read right there. Right here. Those struggling to afford their day-to-day lifestyle tend to rely more on credit cards and carry a higher monthly balance, making them financially vulnerable. Yes, but the reason for this is because a lot of people's day-to-day lifestyles are not realistic. This is where social media becomes bad. A lot of people's day-to-day lifestyles are trying to put on this facade that they have money, but the truth is, on your pathway, on your road to building wealth, which honestly is kind of the position I'm in right now, you have to get to a point where you don't give a flying crap what anybody thinks of you. That's really how this thing is going to go. You got to not care. Because at the end of the day, you may think that those people care, and I know it looks cool on social media, but deep down, nobody really cares. Nobody cares. Believe it or not, guys, there are people I know right now who make literally the same income as me. They're driving Mercedes. They're driving Audis, all kinds of stuff. And they think they look cool because they post it on their Instagram every day. And they're like, look at me. But I'm just looking at them like, I know you're in debt over that car. I know you can't afford that car. My car note is $300. And I'm loving that because I'm not paying much. Your car note is like $800, $900, $1,000. That's a freaking mortgage. That's like more than some people's rent. You know, that's what I think. And it's unfortunate because a lot of average people don't think that. When somebody sees somebody with a Mercedes or an Audi or a nice car, they just think like, oh, this person, you know, might have money. I mean, people overall don't care. But normally when you see people with those type of cars, you might have this imagination that they might have money, but the reality is they normally don't. Maybe they're middle class, and that's the trap of the middle class, right? Maybe they're middle class, maybe they're making upper 5 figures, maybe they're making 6 figures, whatever. You're still paying $900 car note a month for a vehicle that's just meant to get you from point A to point B. That's all it's for. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that I don't love nice cars. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm a man. We love nice cars. We really like nice cars. But if you can't afford it, is it really worth going broke just to look rich? Okay, that's my rant. I can rant about this all day in case you haven't noticed. So it says here, we're going to keep going. Overall credit card balances rose year over year, reaching $841 billion in the first 3 months of 2022. Let me also talk about that too. The whole credit card balances thing, I think another big part of why so many Americans are living paycheck to paycheck and going through all this crap is because in 2021, you had all this like money printing that was going on. And what happened was, well, I guess I can't call it money printing because it wasn't really money printing. But what happened was the government was just giving out money like crazy. It was like the freaking lottery. Folks were out here doing PPP loan scams, EDIL loan scams, SBA loan scams, unemployment scams. Folks were getting legal unemployment, but they were getting unemployment that was paying them more than they would make working a job. I mean, seriously, you could literally make more in 2021 off unemployment sitting at home on your butt than you could working at Wendy's, working at Chipotle, working at McDonald's, right? So people were just really making money. Then on top of that, the unemployment, the PPP loans, the government was giving out stimulus checks. The government gave out several stimulus checks. And then not only did the government do that, the government suspended all student loan payments. So people were really living it up. I mean, seriously, I saw more people I follow on social media traveling and buying designer clothes and nice cars and all that stuff and going on boats and stuff more than I've ever seen in my life. Seriously, it was insane. I saw people who had been broke all their life. No offense. People who couldn't even afford a peanut butter jelly sandwich. People that were just broke all their life. Just popping up rich all of a sudden. They buying nice stuff. They got, they flexing money in the Instagram. Like, it was crazy. So I think a big reason why a lot of Americans are running up those credit cards is because they're still stuck in that 2021 lifestyle where it was really easy to get money. You could literally get money for not working. Just apply for unemployment. It pays you more than it would if you were working at McDonald's. Oh, you need money? Stimulus check. $1,400 stimulus check. That's a lot of money to a lot of people. Oh, you need money? PPP loan. You had a business before? Government give you a PPP loan. Now, we know there was a lot of fraud with the PPP loan stuff, but that's a different video for a different day. Going on with the article. Oh, we're almost at the end. At this rate, balances could soon reach record levels and amid higher gas prices, groceries, and housing, among other necessities, according to blah, 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 senior industry, blah, blah, blah. Okay, yeah, that's basically the end of the article. Yeah, that's the end. So I'm going to go ahead and close that. Okay, so now I want to talk about my own situation. And I hope it helps people. I really do. I'm not, like I said, this isn't the brag. I don't do the whole net worth thing. I think that's what the grifters do. We're not going to get into that, but I'll be a little transparent here. My car note, and I'm not going to get into numbers too much, but my car note is very inexpensive. It's not anything insane. I drive a Hyundai Elantra, and it gets me from point A to point B. It doesn't look like crap, but it also doesn't look like a freaking Audi, But it gets me from point A to point B, and instead of dishing out that extra cash to pay for a nicer car to make it look like I'm rich, I'm actually able to take that money and invest it so that way I can actually become wealthy in the long term, or rich, whatever you want to call it, right? So you've got that. Rent on average is supposed to be like, 30% of like your income or something like that. I think rent's supposed to be like 30% of your monthly income, at least from a financial advisor standpoint. Like, that's what they recommend. Mine is closer to 20%. It really is. It's closer to about 20%, something like that, of my overall income that I bring in. It actually might be lower than that, because here's the other key that you got to keep it. I actually don't know exactly how much it is, which I should probably know, but I don't. It's anywhere between maybe 18 and like 22%. I know it's something like that last time I looked at it. And the reason why, I'm going to tell you why. It's not just because I have a job, right? It's actually because not only do I have a job, but I have other sources of income, which is extremely important. And let me tell you guys, for me personally, having other sources of income has done wonders for my mental health, for my life, for my happiness. Because once you have a good income from your job, and then you add on another stream of income, you literally become in a position where you essentially don't have to worry about bills at all. You don't, because you make a good amount of money at your job, and then you've got a second source of income that you can use to maybe invest, or if you want to go on vacation with your girl, or if you want to make a big purchase, that second stream of income can be for that, or if you just want to save money. And so that's really what this video is kind of all about. It's really about making smart decisions from a personal finance perspective. And the biggest mistake that I see a lot of folks in the middle class make is folks in the middle class, folks who start making between, $70, $80, $90,000, $120,000. Maybe you're a data analyst or an engineer or whatever. They fall into the trap of the middle class where they think that because they're doing better financially than like most people. Because, most people are poor. Most people make like 30, 40,000 average, something like that. So because these people get into a position where they're middle class and they're making more than like the average person, they start living like they're freaking Magic Johnson or LeBron James. They start buying nice cars, nice apartment, nice jewelry, things like that. And I think what people fail to realize is that designer clothes and nice cars and Louis Vuitton, those are for the mega rich people. I'm not talking about the insanely ultra wealthy. I'm not talking about like Elon Musk, Bill Gates or anything. I'm just talking about the mega rich people. So you got like your celebrities, like your Floyd Mayweathers, your LeBron James, some of these rappers like a Drake or somebody like that. That's what those type of luxury items are for. If you're somebody that's making $250,000 a year, you should not be driving a freaking Bugatti or something, whatever. And you would be surprised, guys, because remember, let's go back to that article. Well, I don't have it up anymore, but remember the article said 30% of those earning $250,000 or more are living paycheck to paycheck. The reason why is because people start making $250,000 and they've never made that kind of money in their life, and they start making dumb decisions because they think you're rich, not realizing that you're not rich. They don't even realize that. Sure, you're doing better than most. Congratulations. You are in the upper percentile of income, but you're not LeBron James. You're not Jay-Z. You're not P. Diddy. You're not making that insane amount of money where you've got FU money, where you got it doesn't matter. I can do whatever I want kind of money. You don't have that. And that's the biggest issue that a lot of people make. They just do not live below their means. They're stuck in this keeping with the Joneses thing. And because of that, they end up having issues. So what I want you guys to take away from this video, and I'm applying a little bit of my personal situation here, because a big part of helping me change my life from a person who literally like 3-4 years ago was living with his freaking mom, not making any money at all. Literally my paychecks was like, what, $1,000 a paycheck or something. Like probably less than that, maybe like 800, 900. It was terrible. It sucked. It was horrible. But anyway, what I want you guys to take from this video is your main focus. Instead of focusing on following grifters and learning somebody's course and learning how to day trade and all these different scams, what's actually going to serve you better is figuring out a way to increase your income and then figuring out ways to live below your means. So I know this is going to sting a little bit, but yes, if you're one of those people who has a bad habit of going shopping all the time, you need to stop. If you're one of those people who has a bad habit of eating out all the time, buying coffee every day, buying fancy food at restaurants every day, you need to stop. If you're one of those people who you got some type of luxury car, maybe you've got a Tesla, which by the way, a Tesla's like a $50,000, $60,000 car, and god dang well you can't afford that. Well, obviously I can't give specific financial advice, but the bottom line is just live within your means. What does living within your means mean? Well, it means, they have the whole saying, if you can't afford it twice, you can't afford it, right? So if my car note was doubled, would I be able to afford it? Sure. Okay, great. Well, that's why I have the car note that I have. Now, if I had a car note that was $1,000, literally every month I'm paying $1,000, would I be able to buy that twice? If they doubled that, would I be able to afford it? No. Okay, then you can't afford it. That's kind of the rule of thumb you want to look at here. That's kind of the way you want to make sure you can easily afford this without looking at it. You don't want it to be where you're buying something and you got to look at your bank account like, oh crap, this is going to sting. If it's going to sting your bank account or sting your finances, then you probably shouldn't do it. And the last thing I want to say is, please, for the love of God, stop living for social media. I know a lot of people are going to lie and say, I don't live for social media. Most people do. Maybe you don't, but most people do. I see it all the time. On my personal social media, I see people all the time where I know exactly what they work. I know exactly how much money they make. And they're literally living their freaking life like they're freaking LeBron James. And I know god dang well they don't have LeBron James money. And it is the saddest thing ever, because those types of people are going to be in this 58% percentile of Americans who are living paycheck to paycheck. And again, this doesn't apply to everybody. There are always exceptions. But for the most part, I think a big reason why a lot of these people are in the situation they're in. As a matter of fact, let me not even focus on the 58% that are paycheck to paycheck. Let's focus on the 30%. The 30% of people that are earning $250,000 or more still living paycheck to paycheck. Let me focus on that. The reason why those people are doing that is because they've upgraded their life to a point where they cannot afford it. They think they can afford it because they're making freaking, what is $250,000 what's that, like $10,000 a month or something? I don't know, something like that. They're making a pretty nice chunk of change per month. Their monthly income is really, really nice, and they're increasing their life because of that. But a smart person who really understands money and really wants to build wealth for the long term is going to live significantly below their means. So that way, when they're older, they'll be able to really enjoy life. Which, by the way, I know I get a lot of people who always want to be rich when they're young, but sorry to break it to you guys, it's just not realistic. Becoming wealthy and well off when you're 40 and 50 is actually a really good goal to have, considering most 40 and 50-year-olds are not rich. Remember that. So just saying, make sure you be realistic, set good goals out there, practice good personal finance, make sure you're financially literate, stay away from credit card debt. It's okay to have a credit card. I have 4 of them, but I have 0 debt. I just use them to build my credit score. That's all I use them for. So if you're going to have a credit card, do not be running it up. Do not be losing your mind going on trips to Jamaica and all this stuff on your credit card. Be smart with your money. And trust me, if you follow those steps, you will live a great life financially, mentally, physically, all that great stuff. And so there you guys have it. That'll go ahead and conclude today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next one.